Chapter 1. Wicked Uncle Pillars. Long ago in Greece, there lived a boy named Jason. He was supposed to become king of the island Locust, but his uncle Pillars had stolen his throne. When he was old enough, he set off to Locust to win it back. On the way, Jason carried an old woman across a river. As he waded through, he lost one of his sandals. "Don't worry," said the woman. "If you go on with just one sandal, you will become a great hero." When she disappeared, "How odd," thought Jason, but he did as she said, all the same. When he got to Locust, his uncle Pillars was not pleased to see him. The gods had told him that a young man with only one sandal would come to take his throne. "So, nephew," sneered King Pillars, "you think I don't know why you've come? Well, I've a job for you first." Jason uttered what he'd say. "Bring me the precious golden fleece, and the throne is yours," the king said with an evil smile. Jason looked. The golden fleece was far away in a place known as Turkis, but he agreed. He said to work right away. A man named Argus built him a ship. Then the goddess Athene gave him a magic branch. Jason named his ship the Arrow. "Now, who shall I take with me?" he wondered. Lots of people wanted to join in the voyage. There was otters who made wonderful music, Athena, a beautiful huntress, and Hercules, the strongest man in the world. Before long, Jason had almost 50 people who wanted to go. Then, with a flutter of wings, the North Wind's twin sons arrived. "You're all fantastic," said Jason. "Everyone can come." Jason called his crew the Angrats. They all piled onto the Argo for the long voyage. With Athene's magic branch tied on tight, the Argo was ready to go. The gods sent a gust of wind to fill the Argo's sail, and the ship launched forward. Jason and the Argonauts were off. Chapter 2. Amyx the Bully. After 3 days, the Argo stopped at an island. There was a big, hairy man on the beach, a very big man. "I'm King Amycus," he roared. "Anyone who comes here has to fight me, or else." One of the Argonauts stepped forward. "I am Polydeus. I will fight you," he said bravely. King Amycus laughed. "You? I'd eat you for breakfast." But Polydeus wasn't scared. He went right up to the giant king. "I'm ready," he said calmly. The Argonauts were worried, but they gathered around with the king's soldiers to watch the fight. Amycus ran and Polydeus with his fat fists, but Polydeus dodged. Amycus tried again, but Polydeus was too fast for him. Polydeus ducked and darted for hours. As the sun sank lower in the sky, the king began to weaken. "Come on, I can't see." Cleverly, Polydeus moved around so the sun shone straight into the king's eyes. Amycus was dazzled and stumbled. Polydeus grabbed his chance. As the king ordered, he whacked him on the head as hard as he could. "Take that!" That was the end of Amycus, who dropped to the ground dead. His soldiers were very angry. Jason and the Argonauts raced to their ship and rowed away. Chapter 3. The Wise Old Man. As the Argonauts sailed on, a wild and scary storm blew up. It whipped up the waves and swept the Argo onto a rocky island. But the Argonauts were lucky. When the storm was over, they found that no one was hurt. The ship was fine too. Let's explore the island, said Jason. He set off with 2 men from his crew. After a while, they found an old spooky house. They peeked around the door. Inside, it was dark and gloomy. Mice scuttled away from them with squeaks of fear. Hello, they called. Is anyone home? A blind man appeared at the top of the stairs. Who's there? He asked. He sounded tired. Jason knew the old man at once. It was Phineas, who could see into the future. Jason, with some friends, thought we are on a long journey. Can you tell us what dangers we will meet? One good turn deserves another, only if you get rid of the helpers, said Phineas. They steal all my food. Okay, said Jason. The son of the north wind can help. As Phineas laid out some food, tapirs came whooping down. They were no match for the swift twins. Soon, all the tapirs were dead. At last, cried Phineas in relief. Thank you. Now, your greatest danger is the crashing rocks. They might crash together and crush you. Take this stuff. Let go when you reach the rocks. If it flies through safely, you will be saved too. Chapter 4. Flashing Rocks. The Agro set sail again and headed for the Black Sea. The clashing rocks soon loomed ahead, dark and dangerous. Jason held up the dove and let it go. The dove flew straight for the rocks. Jason watched as it dived between them. The rocks are clashing together, he cried, but then he saw the dove, safe on the other side. Just one white feather fluttered down, where the rocks had trapped its tail. Let's go! Start rowing! Shouted Jason, but the wind was against them, and the rocks began to close together. Faster, faster! The goddess Athene saw the danger and sent a wave to help them. The ship squeezed through, just in time. The Agro sailed safely into the Black Sea. Not far to go now, Jason told his crew, but then they were attacked by some horrible birds, which shot poisoned arrows from their wings. The crew fired arrows back to scare them away. The birds flew off in fright, and the Agro drew near to Clarges. Let's stop here for the night. Operators can play some music with us. We will hide the Agro just outside Clarges, said Jason. I will visit the king in the morning. Chapter 5. Challenge at Clarges. The next day, Jason went to find Antis, the king of Clarges. I've come for the golden fleece, he explained. You can have it if you do the tasks I sent for you, said Antis. Antis didn't want Jason to have the fleece at all. He had a cunning plan. First, you must tame 2 bulls and use them to duck up a field, he said. Then you must sow the field with dragon's teeth. Jason's heart sank. That sounded impossible, but he nodded bravely. He had no idea how he would do it. He went back to his ship and talked to the Argonauts. None of them had any ideas either. But there was something that Jason didn't know. The king's daughter, Medea, had seen him at the palace. She had fallen in love with him on the spot. Medea had heard her father set the impossible task. She was determined to help Jason. At last, she had an idea. Hecate, the goddess of magic, Medea thought, she will help me. In the dead of night, she drove her chariot through the woods to Hecate's temple. Quickly, there's no time to lose. There, she knelt in front of the altar and pleaded with the goddess. Please tell me what to do, Hecate. Hecate told her to make a magic companion with herbs from the wood. I will do it now, said Medea. With the potion made, Medea went to find Jason. He was in the woods, wandering by himself. Drink this, she whispered. It's magic. It will protect you against the bulls. All too soon, it was done. A crowd of people watched as Jason walked up to the bull's cave. Jason had a loud battle. Then the thunder of the bull's feet. As they ran, the ground shook. Jason took a breath. Suddenly, the bulls charged Jason, breathing fire. They had huge brass hooves and sharp, scary horns. They scorched the ground near Jason with their fiery breath, but it didn't harm him. The pot is walking, said Jason in delight. Slowly, Jason walked up to the monstrous bulls. The crowd held its breath. He grabbed their horns and forced them to kneel. Then he dropped them, and they snorted happily. The crowd gasped in disbelief. Our cat on with digging the field now, said Jason. Jason soon finished digging the field. King Anik was furious. I'm being trapped, he frowned. He handed Jason a helmet full of dragon's teeth. Right, try doing this if you dare. Jason marched up and down the field all day, sewing the teeth. By the time he had finished, the sun was beginning to set. Jason was very tired. It had been a long day. Jason went to the river for a drink of water. Pleased he had finished. But suddenly he heard shouting. He looked back. Where it sold the teeth, soldiers were growing out of the ground. This means real trouble. What if they attack everyone? Jason thought quickly. He picked up a big stone and hurled it into the middle of the field. Jason threw the stone so hard that it killed one of the soldiers. Who did that? Yelled the others. Jason ducked down and hit. You did. No, I didn't. The soldier couldn't tell where the stone had come from. They shouted and argued. Then they began to fight. It was a victorious, bloody battle. Soon most of the soldiers were dead. Jason jumped up and killed the rest of the soldiers. Hooray for Jason, cheered the Argonauts. He's our hero. Medea was pleased too, but she was afraid to show it. What if her father guessed her secret? Chapter 6 The Golden Fleece. Anthes was annoyed, but he had one last task up his sleeve. You still have to fight the snake that guards the golden fleece. He told Jason, I bet you can't do that. But then Anthes began to worry. What if Jason had magic powers? I'm not taking any chances. He said to himself. He called his army. Tonight you must burn the arrow and kill all her crew. Medea overheard him. She turned white and rushed from the palace. Medea ran all the way to the arrow. Jason, Jason, she called. My father is plotting to burn your ship. We have to get the fleece now. Hide the arrow. Jason ordered his crew hurriedly. Then he followed Medea into the woods. Deep in the dark woods stood a massive oak tree. Golden fleece hung from its branches, glittering in the moonlight. The snake on guard was vast. Jason stared. It was the biggest snake he'd ever seen, as big as a dragon. As Jason and Medea approached, the snake hissed and bared its fangs. Then it slithered up to them, its gills rattling. "Don't worry," said Medea bravely. She began to sing. Slowly the snake's eyes closed. It was asleep. Jason scrambled up the tree and grabbed the fleece. Jason and Medea rushed back to the Argo with the golden fleece. Jason held it up for the Argonauts to see. "We have the fleece," he cried. "Let's go." Quickly the Argonauts set sail, taking Medea with Chapter 7, A Narrow Escape. When the Antis heard the news, he flew into a rage. "They won't get away with this," he shouted. He marched his army to shore to board his fastest ships. "After them!" cried Antis. The small ships were much faster than the heavy Argo. But noon they had almost caught up. Soon the Argo was trapped. "It's no use," cried Jason. "There are too many of them. We'll have to give them the fleece." Medea had an idea. "My brother Amsis is in charge of the ships. If we kill my brother Amsis, my father will give up." She said, "It's our only chance." "Okay," said Jason. Cut out to the king's ship. "Abstracts, come aboard to make a truce." "Give me the fleece." Too late. The men of Challis realized what was happening. They watched helpless as Medea strapped her brother and threw him into the sea. King Alice began to sob. "A curse upon Medea," he wept. "How could she kill her own brother?" King Antis ordered his men to fish Abstrus out of the water. In the confusion, the Argo slipped away. The king was too upset to chase Jason again. Sadly, he returned with his fleet to Charges. Chapter 8, King of Darkness. Jason and Medea felt guilty for what they had done. "Let's ask the gods for forgiveness," said Medea. So they stopped at the island home of Curse, a beautiful enchantress. "I am cursed. Why have you come?" "I killed my brother," Medea confessed. "Will the god forgive me?" Chris took them into her palace and waved her wand. There was a flash of light. "The god had forgiven you. We can go home," said Jason. He and Medea went back to the Argo and set sail happily. When they reached Lycus, Jason went straight to his uncle. "Here's the golden fleece," he said. "Now I want my throne back." "I don't believe it." King Peleus kept his word. Jason and Medea were married and crowned king and queen of Icos. The feasting and dancing lasted a month, celebrating the long-awaited return of Jason and his Argo.